Hello, thank you for taking the time to listen to this webinar regarding the concept of discipline and the rewards of a disciplined existence. Discipline is a constant awareness of the need for action. This, coupled with a conscious act to implement that action, is what the reminder of what discipline is all about. Now, if you're during the awareness and your implementation, if these two occur at the same time, then you begin a valued sequence of discipline activity. Now let me explain a little bit and so that we can elaborate more on that so you'll have a better idea. If considerable amount of time, that is, from the time that the moment that the awareness comes in and the time of the implementation of that activity that you want to do, if too much time passes from the time you decide until it happens, that's called procrastination. Putting off till tomorrow, until the next day, until another time, what you could do today. So procrastination is almost the exact opposite of discipline. That's a voice within you, and it just says, get it done. Discipline says, do it now. Do it to the best of your ability. Always remember that. That's the voice that you want to listen to. Because eventually it becomes a habit, and then the habit will become instinctive. Procrastination, on the other hand, says something totally different. It says, do it tomorrow. Whenever I get a chance, I'll get to it. It also says, do what's necessary today just to get by, and maybe even impress others if you have to. Do what you can. Do what you must. The rest, put it off. See, in every circumstance you face, you are constantly presented with these two choices each and every time. Do it now or do it later. You can be either disciplined or be a procrastinator. Bearing the fruit of this achievement and the contentment, which is the discipline, or living with the bare knowledge of mediocrity. That's where you can find yourself at any given time. The rewards of a disciplined life is immeasurable. It's really, truly great. But they only often are delayed by some time in the future. You will not always see the results of your discipline. Not right away. It might take time until you really see those fruits. The reward, however, of a lack of discipline, those are immediate, that you will find. And they're minor in comparison to the immeasurable rewards of the consistent and pronounced self-discipline. It's really amazing. An immediate reward for the lack of discipline is the fun day at the beach. That's what it is. On the other hand, a future reward of discipline is actually owning property on the beach. See the difference? Yep. Unfortunately, most people choose today's pleasure over tomorrow's fortune. Just the way it is. Just the way things are. No matter how many times you might repeat that. So how can you get rid of the easy distractions? How can you keep in your mind at all time what you're trying to do? How can you keep an attitude of doing and do it all right now, keeping up with it? How can you make the choice of the discipline over procrastination? How can you say at any given time, I'm going to do it today? How can you stay focused on your ambition? How can you avoid a conversation that is sometimes leading you into the wrong area? What do you have to do? How can you get there? What needs to be done? Well, you can keep your focus on your work. That's one good thing to do. You can get it done today instead of tomorrow. You can do your socializing when your work is done. Some things you can push off. As a matter of fact, you've got to really work on your consistent self-discipline. That's one of the aspects and one of the processes that you're going to need to do. Otherwise, you'll find yourself constantly distracted. You'll be distracted by negative thoughts. You'll be distracted by negative people. You'll also be distracted by chatter in areas that are unnecessary. You'll be distracted by all kinds and associated with people who have self-doubt themselves, who are not comfortable. And never underestimate the power of influence at all and the association with these people. This is not the way to change your life. This is not the way to make anything happen. So how do we improve that, and what do we do? Well, let me give you some keys to discipline and what you have to do in order to be disciplined and the things that you have to do. First thing is very important. It may sound almost childish, but it is so true. Self-discipline starts with doing, and starting with things, little things, and work up into the big ones. Take the little things that are easy to do. Don't start with the big projects. Those are immeasurable at this point. They're not for you, they're not for anyone. Only the little things. The little things are minor things that you can do to make your life better and make you feel better about yourself. They make things a lot easier. So the first thing you want to do is make a list of them. It'll give you some big challenges at the beginning because you're not too sure where to start. But unless you practice on the small thing first, and then you'll master those, you don't have a chance ever taking the major ones. It'll be impossible. A man comes out of his house and says, I'm going to go and take care of my office. I'm going to do, everything that I need to do. I'm going to increase my numbers. I'm going to broaden all of my scopes in my office. He hasn't even started cleaning up his garage. He hasn't got a chance. The first thing you need to do is clean up your garage. The first thing you need to do is clean up the little stuff so you discipline yourself and learn about the big one. Here's an important thing that you must remember. In self-discipline, this is a key component. Everything affects everything else. Every lack of discipline affects every other discipline. It's amazing. And people say, this is the only area I failed in. You see? And it's obvious that this is not true. Every failure, no matter how small, affects the rest of your performance. If you cannot take care of your garage, if you cannot clean that drawer, if you cannot organize your day, you'd never be able to take on to the next project. It's not possible. And it'll affect it, because that's the way you do things in your office. Now here's a positive aspect of that though. Every new discipline will affect every other discipline. Every new thing that you try affects the rest of your performance. That's the beauty of that too. Isn't that exciting? I mean, if you think about it, get started on the small discipline, anything that you can think of, and then you won't be able to believe the self-confidence that will rise in your own mind. Remember, the greatest deterrent to success is a lack of self-confidence. So, lack of self-confidence comes from not doing what you could be doing. Next is self-motivation. Really, that's the only kind of motivation that there is, if you think about that. I mean, I was once on a lecture, and it was interesting. I was asked, Doctor, you're really a pretty good motivational speaker. You motivate people into thinking and knowing and listening about themselves and trying to make their lives. And no, I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm a businessman. I can share my ideas, my experiences, but people have to motivate themselves. I mean, I've learned this a long time ago. You can't change people. People have to change themselves. They can change themselves if they want to. They can change themselves if they try. But you can't change them. I can't change them. No one can change them. People have to change themselves. And if they want things to change, they have to change. Lord knows I have tried in many ways to affect people where I could change them. But I've not succeeded. To make them successful, they have to learn to change themselves. Good people, as it are found, they're not changed. And if you want good people, you have to find them. You have to look and look and look. Now that's the best answer that I can give you. And if you want motivated people, you have to find them, not motivate them. The first rule of management is this: don't send your ducks to eagle school. You know why? Because it won't work. I've tried it many times. I picked up the magazine not long ago. It's interesting, in New York. It had a full page. It was quite cute, and it was for big hotel chains that throughout the country. And this is what it says. It says, now, and this really caught my attention when I read it. It's interesting. It said, we do not teach our people to be nice. That was the caption. We don't teach our people to be nice. And then right below that, it's in big letters. We simply hire nice people. It's pretty clever. It's pretty cute how this was put together, if you think about it. In other words, it's not something that they work on. It's something that they just get. This is where it starts. So motivation is a mystery, if you think about that. Why are some people motivated and some aren't? Why does one doctor, for instance, in his clinic, does extremely well, gets up in the morning, while another sees his first patient later on in the day, takes it easy, doesn't come in when he's supposed to, and procrastinates as much as he can? Why would someone start at 7 in the morning and the other one start much later? Why would someone be totally motivated and the other one isn't? It's called the mysteries of the mind. I don't know. I've given many lectures, interestingly enough, and you'll see some people walking out of the lecture saying, I'm going to change my life. I'm going back to my office. I'm going to make some changes. I'm going to do it right. I've learned the keys. I know what this is, and I'm going to do that. And a couple will walk out saying, I've heard that before. It's a reminder, but I've heard it. I know all of that. Why would that be? Why is it that some people are affected immediately while others are not affected? It's called mysteries of the mind. Just don't know. A wealthy man can say, I read this book, and it started, to me on my fortune. This is where I started. I was told, I was given directives, I learned different things, and I became wealthy. I became very well-to-do because of that. Now, if that's the case and most people see that, why is it that not more people would get hold of that book? More people would say, well, show me how you've done that. Right? How many doctors do we have that are doing extremely well? Extremely well, and thank God, and God bless them with many good things. Why is it that these people are doing well and others are coming back and saying, well, I don't need to do that. I don't need to copy that. If someone has already learned the keys and they know where the keys are coming from and they know for a fact that these others have done it well, why wouldn't they say, let me duplicate what you've already learned? Let me not relearn and start from scratch. To one person, sometimes you have to say, you'd better slow down. You can't get that many work done, that much of enthusiasm into one day. Slow down, take it easy. You're go, you're going to have a heart attack, so just take it easy. To others, however, you have to say, when are you going to get off the couch? At what point in time are you going to get up and say, this is enough, and I'm going to change my office, I'm going to change my attitude, I'm going to change and improve on my character, I'm going to learn, I'm going to pick up this book and learn what I have to do. To be self-motivated, you see, is don't think that it's something that you can do at any given time. To be self-motivated is something that has to come from you if you want to change. Something that you have to decide. Don't give that job away to somebody else. The guy that says, boy, if someone will just come by and just show me how to turn things on, how to make it happen. Really? What if that someone never shows up? You've got to have discipline. You've got to know where to start. So, self-motivation is something that you come up with. You have to start with the little things. You do not wish ever to procrastinate. And you need to focus on your work. That's what leads you into a constructive life, an inspired life, a successful life, and a successful job. See? It's not that difficult. It takes work and it really takes effort. But you deserve it. And there's no reason not to do that. There is absolutely no reason in the world why you should not be successful. And when I mean you, I'm not only speaking to the doctor, I'm not only speaking to the staff, I'm speaking to every single one of us, including myself. And it starts with self-discipline. It starts with knowing when to say go and when to say not. And again, where do you start? In your garage, in your car, in your drawer. On the little things, take on the little jobs and clean it up. And just say, that's it. I'm cleaning up this drawer. Clean up your desk. Get rid of all the extra reports. Get rid of all that list of things that keep on nagging that never gets done. One of the good things that I've given you in your membership is the calendar. Calendar is full of directives of what to do. I know it's not so easy, and I really, really realize that it's not for everyone to do it all. But how about doing one of those things per week? One per week. And then after 4 weeks, you would have done 4. Now after the second month, do now 2 per week. And that's how it goes. You know, John C. Maxwell was asked that question. And how did he write so many books? He's written over 90 books, and many people don't even write one. How did he write so many books? And he just gave a very simple answer. He said, one page at a time. That was his answer. That's what it takes, 1 page at a time. So if you do want to write something, if you are indeed looking to broaden your life, 1 step, 1 day, 1 time, in 3 areas of your life: personal life, spiritual life, and professional life. That's all it takes. You can do it, and you deserve it. And what's even more so is there are many people in the world that would benefit, because everything affects everything else, either in a positive way or a negative way. It's up to you. You make that choice. Well, thank you for taking the time to listen. I hope you don't take this as an admonishment or a criticism. It's a part of life that you need to learn. I've learned it. I've learned it the hard way, but now I know. And I use every bit of time, every minute of every day, and every day of every week of every month, and every month of every year, to make the best of it in everything that I can. God bless you, and thank you for taking the time. I appreciate it. I appreciate you listening. Have a great day, and God should be with you in everything that you do. Thank you.